Hello everyone and welcome to this course on using the PIC32CM MC microcontroller manufactured by Microchip for power electronics applications. So in this course, we'll be using specifically the PIC32CM 1216 MC00032 microcontroller, which is provided in the form of an evaluation kit, which I'll be discussing soon. So the reason why I'm doing this particular course is because this PIC32CM MC microcontroller is a fairly popular low-cost option used in many power electronics applications, specifically by manufacturers when they are trying to cut cost. Now remember, there are various types of applications in power electronics. As an example, you can think of high power enterprise applications where specific converters are being built for particular applications, and these converters and their associated components are quite fairly expensive. As an example, let's say for example we are considering a high power UPS which is being built for a particular application. In such a case, this is not a low cost project. For example, such a UPS can cost tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. In such a case, you would not worry about cutting the cost of your microcontroller. But there are many applications, such as when you want to build a mobile charger or you want to build power supplies for consumer appliances. In such case, it is extremely important that you cut the cost of every component in your appliance. And the reason is, whenever a manufacturer is targeting the consumer market, and that means end users like you and me, it is extremely important that cost should be as low as possible. Because remember, when we consumers go out to buy electronic components, quite often we end up buying the cheapest of them. And therefore it is important to remember that when you as a manufacturer are trying to build low-cost consumer appliances, then in that case you must try to choose low-cost microcontrollers, and an example of this is the PIC32CM MC microcontroller from Microchip. Of course, Microchip has other low-cost microcontrollers as well, and not only does Microchip provide them, many other manufacturers also provide low-cost microcontrollers such as STM32 and Infineon. Now, in this course, I'll be using an evaluation kit with this particular microcontroller, which is the PIC32CM 1216 MC00032. Right? This low-cost evaluation kit will be described in the next few lectures, where I'll be talking about the requirements. But the good news is that this can be purchased from many electronics retailers for as low as $16, which means that with this kit, you can actually implement a number of different projects that are specific to power electronics, and you can completely use it in this course, not only for basic microcontroller programming, but also for producing gating signals, and also using the timer for implementing control, as well as also taking feedback of analog signals for implementing control in feedback control loops. So all these can be used with the low-cost microcontroller kit just for $16. So in this course, besides the hardware kit, that is the evaluation kit which I just described, we also need certain software. These software are freely downloadable from Microchip website. So Microchip produces not only the hardware, which is the chip, as well as the evaluation kit, but it also provides you with an integrated development environment called MPLAB-X, and also it provides you a specific 32-bit controller compiler for 32-bit microcontrollers, because our microcontroller is a 32-bit microcontroller. And this compiler is called MPLAB-XC32. Both of these can be freely downloaded from the Microchip website. So in this course, I'll be using Windows 11. As of the time of making this course, which is September 2024, you can also use Windows 10, but please remember that Windows 10 is only supported until around October 2025, which means that at a certain point of time, Microchip may no longer support their applications with Windows 10. If you're using Windows 11, then there is no issue with this when using Windows 11 in this course. Now, besides the evaluation kit as well as the software, we will be downloading many data sheets and technical reference documentations about the microcontroller chip, as well as the evaluation kit. And all these can be downloaded freely from the Microchip website. The documentation is vast, it's almost more than 1000 pages long, and it contains a lot of details about the microcontroller chip as well as the peripherals, and we'll be using it throughout this course. Now, the kit is almost ready to be used once you buy it from a retailer. And as soon as we actually open the kit and we install the software, we can actually use a starter project that brings an LED on the evaluation kit. So for example, there will be a starter project which is provided on the Microchip website, and you can download this and immediately test your kit when it flashes a yellow LED on the evaluation kit. Now, besides using the documentation and the data sheets, I will also show you how to use the GitHub page that is hosted by Microchip. Now, Microchip hosts a GitHub page where it provides many repositories on many different projects that are related to different microcontroller families. And one of these is the PIC32CM-MC microcontroller family. So I'll show you how to look. You should look for this particular microcontroller and how you can download this, and also how you can interpret these projects so that you can use them to build your own projects. So in this course, we will be using C programming to program the microcontrollers. Now, at this point of time, you will find there are many graphical user interfaces to be able to program your microcontroller. So for example, many simulation software provide you with tools where you can automatically compile your control code, which has been represented by graphical user interface, into code which is directly downloadable onto a microcontroller. Now, the reason why we will not be using this in this course is that the PIC32CM-MC microcontroller is not a microcontroller that is used typically in R&D, or for that matter in academia. This is a microcontroller that is used specifically in industry for industrial products. And in such a case, whenever we build firmware in industry, it is always using either C programming or using assembly language programming. So therefore, if you're taking this course, please be prepared to write C programs to program the microcontroller. Now, it's important to remember that this microcontroller from the Microchip is not an easy microcontroller to program, right? Even while I was creating this course, I found significant challenges in programming the PIC32CM-MC microcontroller. To begin with, the documentation is scarce. Not all parts of the documentation or not all features are elaborately described. Even though the documentation is more than 1000 pages long, there are many features which are only described very briefly. Moreover, the examples that we can download from the GitHub page are not extensive. Not every part of not every type of application is described using these examples. So it's important to remember, and this is just a recommendation, that if this is your first microcontroller, then in that case, unless you are comfortable with microcontroller programming, I would recommend you to take another basic course that I have created on microcontroller programming, and that has been listed as a requirement of this course, or rather a recommended requirement of this course. So if this is your very first microcontroller, please have a look at the requirements, and if possible, do the basic course where I spend a lot of time describing the basics of microcontroller programming. If you do decide to continue with this course, please remember that you should be familiar with basic C programming, and that is declaring variables, how to write loops, how to write if-then-else conditions, and also how to write your own functions, because we will be writing many functions in this particular course. Moreover, you should also have an understanding of certain data structures that are available with C programming, and that is, these are called structures, enums, pointers, and several others. So therefore, if you are a complete beginner to microcontroller programming and these are new to you, like I said, please think about taking the basic course on microcontrollers where I spend a lot of time on these basic concepts. Now in this course, I will be going back and forth between C programs and technical documentation to describe why we are writing code in a certain manner, and the reason is that certain registers and certain configurations have to be made in a particular manner as described by the technical documentation. So this course will also describe to you while you are writing programs how to reference the technical documentations while you are programming. So with this, I would like to start this course. Again, take a moment to just think for yourself if you are comfortable with writing C programs, and also if you are comfortable with basic embedded C programming. If these are very new to you, please think for a moment if you want to take a basic course before you continue with this course, because as I said, the microchip microcontroller, this PIC32CMMC microcontroller is not a very easy microcontroller to program. If this is your first microcontroller, this course might be a bit of a challenge. If, however, you are convinced that you can continue, then of course, I will provide you with extensive support, that is hands-on programming sessions, as well as also experiments where we will verify whether that our control code works the way it does. So, if you have any doubts, please do post in the Q&A forum. Otherwise, I will see you in the next lecture, where we will start describing the target audience of this course and why you should be considering taking this course and whether this course is appropriate for you. So, thank you so much for watching, and goodbye for now.